Hello everyone and welcome to Cilinix FX Capital Education. This video will be about trends and trend lines. And so first we will talk about what trends are in Forex. And trends are basically when a price moves in a certain direction. So in Forex, for example, you can have the euro against the US dollar, and that can go up, which is an uptrend, or it can go down, and that's a downtrend. So it is important, however, to say that a pair is not always in a trend, and it depends on the time frames, but we'll get back to that later. So what a price can also do is consolidate. So that means that a price is not moving in one general direction, so it's not moving up or down, but rather it's moving up and down within a certain range. So price is actually moving sideways if you zoom out, and that is not considered a trend. So what I mean with that it's different over certain time frames is that you can look at the 15-minute chart and you can see that the price is definitely moving up, which is typed by a swing high, a swing low, a swing high, and a swing low, as you can see on the slide here as well. But that does not mean that the pair in general is also moving up, because you can zoom out to the 1 hour, which, you know, 1 hour is not too far from 15 minutes, so that might still be up. But if you then look at the daily, you can clearly see that on the daily time frame the price is moving down. So you should always keep that in mind while trading. On this slide you also see the swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high in a downtrend, but to be honest I think these terms don't really apply. You can better look at when it's an uptrend, it's a higher high and higher low. So that's here, it comes from down here, so it's a higher high, and you can see that the low, it came from the low. It's a higher low, and then it's a higher high, higher low. Then you can see a broad trend. There are more things to see what is trend, but we'll get back to that later. And here you can also see a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, and a lower high, and you can see that it's downtrending. So now we go on to how to identify trends, and I have found multiple ways of how people identify trends. I think these are the most used ways by people. There are more ways. There are also some indicators that tell you if a price is trending or if it's consolidating. But these indicators actually give some sort of indication of where the price is going and what the trend is. So I will not go into depth about all these indicators because I will make different videos about that. Some of these are you know, they're easy to use, they're easy to install as well, or just put them under your chart, but how they are made is a tad bit more difficult. So I will get back to that in different videos, but now I will just quickly show you how they can identify trends. And we'll begin with the MACD and the RSI, which are indicators which are not the same, but they kind of do the same thing. They show you when a price is overbought and when it's oversold. So here you can actually see the MACD. Usually there are two lines, or there's a line here at the top, there's a line at the bottom to see when it's overbought, when it's oversold, and the line in the middle. Here you can clearly see the moving average in the MACD, and that shows a trend. So here it shows an uptrend, and you can see the price actually goes up as well. Here you can see a small downtrend, but also kind of moving sideways. And you can see that the price is also two small downtrends, kind of moving sideways, ranging or consolidating. And here you can see it moving down further, and you can see a small downtrend. And then you also have Bollinger Bands, which are also comprised of moving averages, but like I said, the technicals will be in a video especially made for the Bollinger Bands, and in videos especially made for the MACD and the RSI. So here you can see the Bollinger Bands, which is basically a moving average with 2 standard deviations. You can also set it up for yourself, maybe do a standard deviation 2, so the Bollinger Band becomes bigger. But you can see that this band that it creates with the moving average and the standard deviations of the moving average actually shows a trend. So here you can see that the band is going down, price is also going down, of course with some pullbacks, but that's usual in pairs. And here you can see that the Bollinger Bands are actually going up again after some sideways movements also from the band, and you can see that the price is also going up. There's also an MACD there, but ignore it. But the way we are going to talk about to identify trends in this video is actually trend lines. So I will first explain to you what type of trend lines there are, and how they can be drawn, and after that we will actually get to TradeView to show you how to draw them. Here we are on tradingview.com. I would strongly recommend this site to do some back testing, or to test some ideas, or just to test out indicators, just to do your Forex testing. But you can also look at certain stocks, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, you can also see tickers like stocks, but we are here for Forex. So I will take a look at a random pair. Let's do the cable, which is a nickname for the pound against the US dollar. So why I wanted to show this as well is to show you that here you can actually see different exchanges which sell the ticker, or you can trade with the ticker. And if you click on Forex ICE, it is actually an average between all the exchanges which provide the ticker. So let's use ICE, full featured chart, and let's do the 1 hour, why not? So I prefer a blank chart just to have the price. Let's actually get back into time. I won't look, not looking here. We'll start here. Nice. Happy New Year, everyone. Here you can actually use the speed. Let's do it a little bit slower. And this is the beginning of January. Beginning of January is always tricky to trade. Everything is just beginning. So let's move ahead a couple of candlesticks. So we will take a look at the ascending, the descending, but also I will try to get in a duplication. Let's wait for the price to move a little bit further, because the problem with the beginning of January is always that it's a tricky time to trade. Sometimes, or times in the year, it's quite tricky to trade, like in August, the holidays, December holidays as well, but also end of the financial year, and the beginning of January, because it's still, you know, everything's starting up. So let's see if, so I actually have it, I believe it is, no it is not. So here you can click on the magnet, it will drag itself perfectly to the top. Here you can see a descending trend line. This is a high, this is a lower high, you can actually see it. And the third touch, which I always say, or I've seen it while backtesting and while trading, that it is a very strong hit. And let's see, went down for quite some pips, 130 already. So here you have 2 points, and now I want to show you the power of a duplication. So you can actually clone this, put it onto this point, which is quite a significant point, and now you can already see a channel, but it's not confirmed yet. I would confirm it when this hits 2, which it doesn't have to. But let's look a little bit further. So there it hit, and you should always consider trend lines to be zones instead of very definite lines, because there are different ways, as I said earlier, to draw trend lines. I actually draw trend lines from the wicks. You can also draw them wick to body, like here, and you would have had some touches as well. But you can also draw them body to body. See? They are zones depending on how you draw them. I draw them wick to wick because I think it gives the best entry points, because here you could have entered. But it's up to you. You should find your own way of trading. So we have seen that the duplicated, like you only needed 1 point to draw it, and you could have gained quite a good trade out of it. 76 pips, minimal drawdown, so that's good. Let us try to find a ascending trend line now too. Hit the trend line again, 4th time. Usually I have seen that the 5th time actually breaks. So we can try to place an ascending trend line here. The 3rd hit arguably has already happened, also the 4th, so let's not use this one. I think it will break. Here it actually broke, 5th time. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's a zone. It broke. So I will not be using this ascending. I just see this was kind of a 3rd hit and a 4th, and it was nice to spot the trend, but it will probably break here. I will leave it on to see if that becomes true. So what we could do is draw an ascending trend line when this pulls back. Like a good pullback, price, I don't know, maybe moves up until here. And I can also show you that you can place trades on trend lines, but you can also wait for trend lines to break and then take the break retest, which you might be known to the term, but most people I think associate it with resistance and support, that if resistance breaks, it becomes support, and it breaks and retests and then goes up again. But it's also the case with trend lines, so I will show you that too. You didn't see it here. They don't have to retest. You can actually see that the trend line was hit here again. Let's see, if you would have drawn it off the wick, no, that's a different one. Alright, so a big pullback. Let's see. Bam. 1, higher low, higher highs. You can see in a lot of things that's an uptrend. Place a trend line here, and it went up a little, and it broke. Now let's do some experimenting. Here, when you have drawn it exactly on the first wick, and this was the third touch, fourth touch, fifth one, and break, you can see that the price very accurately breaks and retests right here. So let's put it, let's wait for one more ascending, and we could, like, there are a lot of ways. You can also draw it like 2 points very close to each other, right here and right here. See what comes from there. Quite some drawdown, but it went down. One, two, three, 4, 5, down. It's a possible break retest here, not necessary. So trend lines always work better off of significant points. This looks like a pretty significant point. Looks like the price is trending up as well. You can also clone this already, put this on top of here, see what happens. This is the last example that we are going to do, and it broke through. And that's also a pretty valid argument to see, actually, that up until now it looked quite promising. I must tell you, like, that's not really the way it works all the time, that you just draw a trend line and you get a perfect third hit like this one. You make some money, then you get a perfect duplication hit, and it moves up, make some money. No, trend lines don't always work, like here. I'm waiting for that break retest. Nope, broke immediately. So when this happens, when the trend line, the price goes straight through, and it goes straight through once again and 2 times more, that's when I delete it. That's when I think that's not valid enough for me to use anymore. Here we can see one more trend line. This was kind of a third touch, but as I said, they are zones. You can look for that fourth touch. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't. You see some hesitation here, but it went through. Break retest, it went up. So I hope that I have shown you enough examples for you to know what kind of trend lines there are, how you can draw them. For example, here off the body, you would have had a third touch right there. Here off the wick, would have had a break retest. So I've shown, hopefully I've taught you enough about trend lines and how to draw them, what kinds there are, and how to possibly trade with them, that you can experiment for yourself and find your way of using them in the best way. So thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next educational video.